Welcome in the ring, folks. Good evening to each and every one of you. A good evening to all of you. Let us know how you're doing tonight. Ring that bell one time for all of you. Dan Graves Andy just came on you on my mind already. Dan, saw Diane in tongue today, got a big hug. Yeah. Hope your husband watching tonight. got a big hug from Diane. I woke up this morning and chose violence. Woke up and chose Joylyn Cook. We're in defense of our women tonight. What's happening with our women, folk? I saw a massacre over the weekend. What's happening to our women folk in this country? 12 bullets. Dolly Anderson. I spoke to a very important woman today. She's on the forefront of these issues, rescuing women. Auntie Sandra, rescuing. Not play. Rescuing women from these kinds of situations. Good to have all of you. Good to have all of you on the live tonight. Where are you joining us from? Share the live and smash that emoji button for us. Good to have all of you here. Wherever you're joining us from, 'tis the season, folks. I would have you know, 'tis the season. Yeah. 'Tis the season. You know, this cash grant that we approved in the National Assembly during budget 2025, $40 billion towards the cash grant. You know, they're going to spend about 20 and they can keep the rest. Yvette, Marcia, Myrna, Andy, they can keep the rest. They've learned nothing from the last iteration of this cash grant before Christmas. The first tranche. Myrna Stoby, good to see you on the live. They messed it up then, and folks, they're messing it up now as well. Messing up the whole thing. But good to have you wonderful folks on the live. You know, once you come in this 592, it's trouble. You know, we don't want trouble, but trouble seems to, we don't want trouble. They got to do this thing right, folks. They got to do this thing right. We got to do it right. As we and Ashley, and use he for the opener. We can use him for the opener. Cash grant wrong, salary increases. Pff. By the time you get the money, you owe so much of people, you can't see your way. And you know, as we on this cash grant business, I heard them saying that, oh, people can wait 6 months to change a check. You don't have to rush now. That is something so out of touch to say, Pasha, finance secretary, very out of touch. Very, very out of touch to say. You can wait 6 months. People in this country are hungry. People in this country are economically tired, frustrated, overworked, and underpaid. People shouldn't even need 100,000 at all if you're really and truly remunerating them correctly. If you're really paying them right, we need 100,000. Buy more damn things, you know. We don't even need 100,000. Foreign Finance Minister Winston Jordan in Ashley Tail. Take a look, take a listen.
Minister with responsibility for finance, Ashley Singh, has said that contract employees have the option to determine whether they wish to go on the fixed establishment or to remain contract employees. Former Finance Minister Winston Jordan said that as far back as the pre-independence days, the public servant was impartial. He was beyond the scope of political directions. Today, those operating on contract have no security of tenure.
And it was based on exactly what a contract is supposed to be. Short term for a specific purpose because you have a specific skill, which we need and we don't have in the public service. They had those odds and ends around the place. But contracting as we know it today started in 1992 when the PPP government, unable to get rid of the PSC appointed public servants, began to offer their people contracts.
These people were paid above the Public Service Commission appointees. He refuted Ashley Singh's claim to the National Assembly that contract employees and the traditional public servants receive the same pay.
The economists in the Ministry of Finance, they are called economic and financial analysts. They are paid way more than any economist in a similar capacity in any other ministry, region, or department.
He said that there was a commission of inquiry that issued a comprehensive report. He read one of the recommendations.
Contract workers on all grades holding public service positions must be absorbed into the pensionable public service establishment, provided that they are suitably qualified to fill established positions.
There was also a recommendation that mandated that contract employees should be restricted to highly skilled positions not available in the traditional public service. There was no imposition on the staff by the coalition, as stated by Ashley Singh, he said.
Right now, you get people slotted in because of their political affiliation. There's no competition in many of these places. People are identified by a minister or by a prominent secretary. They are brought into the ministry, and then they're given contracts, and then they write the Public Service Commission and tell them, listen, appoint this person within this position.
Yeah. I can listen to Minister Jordan all the time, all day. All day. That's how they do it. Friends, family, favorites. That is precisely how they do it. Precisely how they do it. I know while we're talking about that, I hope you all know the opposition was not invited to the flag-raising ceremony. So I hardly listened to Irfan on Saturday night. I mean, I had to listen to him because I want to report some of the nonsense he was talking. For you all, of course. For you fantastic folks. And now they're saying it's the Ministry of Culture, some department of something, is to be blamed. The department didn't even bother issue an apology. It was the Department of Public DPI, Information. How was it? Public Communication. Same difference. Department of Public Information, who issued an apology on their behalf. Folks, y'all think it's one thing wrong in this country? It's a number of things wrong. And, you know, here is David Patterson, chairman of the Alliance for Change, talking about some of that, how the opposition is often overlooked these national events and so on. And then, you know, what struck me is your vice president out here today. I saw headlines talking about, oh, we're going to be reelected. We've been the most inclusive government. Oh, flap y'all. Flap you. You know your nonsense. Folks, David Patterson, a little icing on the cake for the opener.
It has been a perennial issue that the opposition is excluded from government-sponsored events. On Sunday, the Ministry of Youth, Culture and Sports issued an apology for not inviting the opposition to the matrimony flag-raising ceremony. The apology described the absence of the invitation as an embarrassment to the president. However, there have been numerous instances of the opposition not being invited. A recent case was the absence of an invitation to the just concluded energy conference. Member of Parliament David Patterson offered a reason.
I have been personally informed that the government has said, forget what you say in that now, that they will not be participating if any of the opposition is invited. That's a statement. Obviously, the person that spoke to us was off the record, but I maintain my position that is the government's. They may not say that publicly. Obviously, they don't want to say that publicly, but myself and Vince knows that several of the persons who have attended, and I say this on the record, several persons who are in attendance to the conference reached out to us, well, to me in particular, for private meetings.
He said that some of the delegates to the conference were surprised that the opposition wasn't there.
We have taken the opportunity, obviously, for the betterment of the oil and gas sector in the country. I have taken a position. I have met with several of them, and I do think I have a meeting this evening as well with several of the investors.
Former head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Vince Adams, said that it is stretching the imagination that the government doesn't have a role in the energy conference.
With 2 conferences ago, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Graham, and I'm not sure who he works for, whether it's the government or not, but he came out and made a public statement that the opposition did not have anybody qualified to be in that conference.
Patterson described the situation as serious.
Persons are investing or intend to invest or consider investing millions of US dollars, meaning they're obviously very excited about Guyana being a new frontier. No serious investor puts his money and gets based on one side of the equation. Irrespective of what the PPP may want to say and the government may want to say, there's an election coming on this year. And persons and serious investors would like to know what is our, meaning the other 50% of the country, position on certain important matters.
The season, folks. This is the season. We're in election season. Let's hasten to a couple of things, folks, so we can come to my guest of sorts this evening. Spoke to my guest early on today on a particular issue, and we can come to that in just a few. But this is season. This is election season, folks. You know, it's like that song that says "Mashing Guyana," people going crazy. Yeah, election season, people going crazy. People going crazy. Tessa Hayward, I see you there, and Joy Doxson, I see you as well. Joy is all the way up in Region 1, right? There's where you are, right, Joy? I spoke so confidently there. There's where I left you in Region 1, Joy. Donna and Leon, Kurt. Arlene is on the live too. Arlene Daniels, good to see you. Daphne, Joseph Lee, Mark and Keith, Stacey and Stoll. Don Fraser, good to see you on the live as well. And all you other fantastic folks who are joining us. Share the live, good folks. Gail Alicock, smash the hell out of that emoji button for us, please and thank you. Good to see all of you here. Patricia and all the Patricias, Patricia Graves, Andy, Patricia, Sana, Jilly G on the live, the Floridian. Good to have you here, Jilly G. You're still in Florida, Jilly G. I ain't want to speak of the third. You're still there. Donna, Kim, Yvette, Beatrice, Leona Adams. Good to have you, Leona, and all the other folks. Those folks who I met in town today that offered a kind word saying that they watch and they support the program. Good evening to you guys too, who I met. Good to have all of you on the live. Tis the season. Tis the season. I was in GT&T today, you know, and you know, let me apologize before I head over to the other side. Let me apologize to those folks who I run into in the city. Jill G says she's still in Florida. I want to run into Jill G in Florida. It's a long time. I've never been to Florida, you know. You don't just shop, it's like an invitation and so on. Folks, good to have all of you on the live time. I was in GT&T today, you know, and you know what I found today? I'm always busy going and coming, or busy in between. Forgive me if I don't have all the time in the world when we stop to say hello, you know. People want to catch up on politics and they want their own show on the spot there, wherever we meet. And so, you know, I know you guys mean well, but so I'm saying in advance, forgive me if when we touch base, we don't have a lot of time. I'm always, today's one of those days, you know, I was pressed for time, and got into GT&T in, what preach is that? Downstairs at Fogarty's. Yeah, I fed up. They shift around the damn thing so often, right? You shift around the place so often. Don't get accustomed to nothing in this country. Don't get accustomed. Don't get attached. Do not get attached. Don't get attached. So I go on now in GT&T downstairs at Fogarty's. The girl came up, big long line every place. You gotta apologize to Forbes. You gotta apologize to Forbes. Line for everything. Line to go in the bank. Line for the cash grants. Line in big long line. Look. All right. Let me tell you the story. So the girl said, look, you come to pay a bill? I said, yes. I wanted to pay the bill. That's not a really good day. But I said, so I can pay the bill and I can query this phone issue that I have. She said, to pay the bill, right, you got to go out back the door and run someplace else, go through a little crack, and you could pay the bill there. I saw it. Because she working there. I gone in there now, this little crack, go through something, you go wrong, you come wrong, you duck down, you go in. 5 people in the line in front of me, people chatting me up. I just want to pay the bill. Waited for a little while because the thing moving slow. 5 people, it took me about half hour. Gone up now. The girl said, oh, you're paying by card. You got to go back wrong. You know, folks, you know, moments like that. I see myself on the front page of the Chronicle. I see myself on the front page of Kaitro News. You hear MP views down the staff. I just stood there for half hour. Gone up there. Oh, you're paying by card? You got to go wrong back. I said, the folks send me here. Right? I didn't even wait for she to respond. I make a beeline. Out back. Out back. So I gone back in front of the girl. Said, oh, she can take the card. She can swipe it. Then she can go over someplace else. Do some other jiggery pokery. Get some receipt. Come back. Another 10-15 minutes. Now when I explain the real problem I come for. Oh, she said we don't look after the hair. But I could message somebody quick here and they can call you. I still waiting. The short of it, I still waiting for the court to call me. I was paying the bill as I was there. That wasn't what took me there. She said, I can let somebody call you. I still waiting. I fed up. And it's not only them, you know. It's not only GT&T. Whether it's GT&T, it's one communication, half communication, one this, one that. It make a difference. It make a difference. I went in nice and quiet. I come in peace. You know, and them change me. I could imagine when you all go through out there. You gotta, you know, take the services in this country. What took me there? I paying a high phone bill when the month coming, and I wanted to query and say, you know what? I think I can try something else because it doesn't matter if you're paying $30,000 a month or you're paying $5. Like it's the same quality internet you're getting. So what sense it make? All right, let me stop venting now. Let me stop venting. I don't think it matters if you're paying for, you know, 500 MBS or whatever it is, or you're paying for 2. To me, it's the same speed. So that is what took me in there to query. That is what I wanted to query. I said, take me off of the 500 MB. Give me the 10. MBS, QRS, LGB, something. Whatever is the system. Take me off. This is season, folks. A lot happening in this country. A lot happening. We can circle back to some of the political things. But I want to touch on a couple of things that we're following, folks. And let's start up north where I'm the crazy guy now. Let's start up north. Well, when Fox News complaining about Avril, Kim, Dolly, Nima, MP, Nima, when Fox News complaining about press freedom being curtailed under Trump, you must know where we are. Fox News is to Trump and Republicans what Daily News is to the PPP. So when Fox News started complaining, they said we're a little worried. We're a little worried, right, about what's going on here. Let that be the guide. Let that be the plumb line from which we're going to measure how we're doing. Fox News said we're a little frightened now. Democracy and press freedom go hand in hand. The folks here like to say, oh, we are the most you know, liberal when it comes to press freedom. We don't go after people. We don't. Jesus. I went for, y'all remember the Jagabat case that Hughes Fields and Sobe won? The former mayor Obraj and Ivory still before the court, traffic offense, which is really them trying to get at their political opponents. and then O'Bradges, well, him and I in that case too, for trying to, what I said, inciting racial hostility. Them boys said, no, we don't go after. We don't go after nobody. Well, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. When Fox News say we worried, take things serious, what's going on in the US. So that's happening, folks. That's happening on the one side. And you all know once we come into 592, my God. Once we come into 592, I tell you one time, brace it over. Brace it over. Right? Brace it over. You know, the guys and I, we were looking at these headlines earlier, and folks said this is election sacrifice. You will see the lineup. Right? The folks is election sacrifice. Now look at this one here. Tell me what you think. Labor drowned in Lake Mainstay. Carnage on our roads. Carnage in our waterways. Well, we always talk about that. Region 2, they were investigating the drowning of a 28-year-old, Dion Edwards Beard, whose body was recovered from Lake Mainstay today, this morning. So he's a laborer from a place called Princeville, and he had gone to the resort on Monday, never returned home. Our thoughts and prayers with the Beard family. Our thoughts, never returned home, prompting the search by his family. And it was his sister who discovered his body floating about 30 feet from the deck bar. And with the help of some villagers, they retrieved Dion's body. Right? And they're telling us that CCTV footage showed Beard removing his clothing, jumping into the lake, but failing to resurface. Authorities are continuing to investigate this. You know, I know a lot of you in Singleby, you're going to ask, you had no lifeguard? You got CCTV footage to see how people meet to death, but to prevent it within. There's Thomas, Leslyn, Shireen, Desiree. Folks say election sacrifice. Because falling on the heels of that, good folks, look at this. Another drowning death. Another drowning death. Police are investigating the drowning of 26-year-old Vishal Narain, also a laborer from land of Canaan on the east bank this time. And they said he jumped into the Demois River yesterday, reported the case that Narain, who was intoxicated, became upset after his family refused to give him money for alcohol. Following an argument, he ran towards the river and jumped from a wharf. And despite efforts by family members and bystanders to rescue him, he disappeared between the murky depths of the Demois River. And his body is yet to be recovered. The authorities are continuing their search. Does that look natural to y'all? Does that look natural to y'all? Please and thank you. Then I say once you come into 592, what's the position? Once you come into 592, folks, what is it? What is it, folks say? Election sacrifices. I didn't say it, the folks have said so. So you got now on the Essequibo coast, you know, Demerara. Certainly, that's the end of our sorrows. You know, certainly that's the end of our sorrows. Not so. Sanjay Khan, a 23-year-old fisherman from Crabwood Creek, Bubis, he's been missing, listen to this, since February 16th, after reportedly falling overboard. Let's get the glasses here. Falling overboard while hauling in his fish near Surinamese waters. But you ain't gonna play Suriname now. They said the thing from Suriname strong. The only thing that beats that out is the one from Guadeloupe. You all know the whole thing. The only thing that beats that one out, the thing, you all know what I'm talking about, is the one from Guadeloupe. So I've heard. So he fell overboard while pulling in his haul close to Surinamese waters. And his mother, Padmini Dursami, I think it is, she's raised concerns over the circumstances of his disappearance, questioning why he would cut loose from the fishing sign or sail instead of being rescued. She said it ain't adding up. She believes more should be done to locate him, and she's seeking answers from the crew as well. Be careful. Be careful who you line with. Right? Be careful who you do business with. Be careful out there, folks. She said the story ain't adding up. The maths for her ain't mathsing. Why would you cut yourself away from the thing that could be used to rescue you? Why? So be watching that, folks. I tell you, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. They said it's election sacrifice. I don't know. But I know some folks willing to do anything. You see, when they taste that sweet of that thing called power. Huh? Some of y'all think that giving up so easy. You better think again. You better think again. They're not going to give that up so easy to us. So that's one of the things we're watching. This one kind of stunned me. Because here we talked, folks, about the deaths on the Essequibo coast, Demerara River, Berbice, the carnage on our roads and waterways, and we come into the carnage and violence against our women and girls. We coming down the line to that. And then we saw this headline. The government is mulling traffic lights for the Heroes Highway. They only got one reason why they should mull, you know. One single reason why they should be mulling. One reason. You know that it's simulated waves now. You get over on those bridges doing like 50 miles an hour. But you know it's not a real speed. 50 miles an hour. You know, and one of those simulated waves. You catch that right, you end up in a traffic light, you know. You end up stranded on that traffic light. Those simulated waves of the Hero Highway. Not easy. That highway was opened a year ago. Concrete. They say concrete road is the strongest. Them boys now patching the concrete road with asphalt. Oh, there's no place on earth like Guyana. None whatsoever. So they're mulling. I thought this would be a no-brainer. Because had they not intended to put traffic lights on the Heroes Highway, they would have said it from the onset. Oh, we're playing, this is the Russian roulette highway. Go at your own risk. You got some major intersections on this highway and they're mulling. I mean, is this like for real? This is mull with a capital mull? The mulling. I couldn't believe this headline. Are they like traffic? Are they like highways in the world that don't have traffic lights? And especially you have this one, the most this country that has the most dangerous roadways in the world. You don't got no traffic police here. I know in the US of A, a traffic police is one of the most feared. Not even Trump ain't feared like a traffic police. Soon as them boys bank and see a little sliver light that look like a siren, every man jack. In this country, in broad daylight, a greasy hand. I'm about all this. Broad daylight, you think them boys scared? Government is mulling. Should we? Should we not? In a country that has the most dangerous roadways in the world. It's like they haven't seen all those accidents on the Heroes Highway since it has opened with its simulated waves. It has not occurred to them. Should we? Should we not? Should we? Should we not? Chin Sing Henry said a lot of people buy the license. I didn't say Chin Sing said it here. Should Harry Suk Chen. McGarrel Seville said, take it too big to pay here. Take a bribe. Right? Siobhan, Joy. What's going on in this country? What's happening in this country? Dennis Atwell says no. Highway Patrol. Broad daylight, them men grease in hand. Yeah, man. I ain't see it for a long time. You know. They ain't got their own stakeholders, you know, like the Commissioner of Police, they call them at different times. Their own stakeholders that they call them. Let me hasten on to my guest this evening. Let's hasten on, folks. But good to see all of you on the live this evening, folks. It's a privilege to have all of you here. Ring the bell one time. For all of you, wherever you're joining us from. Ring the bell one time. So they're mulling. Should we? Should we not? 1 foot in Nippon, 1 foot outside. Should we? Abna, Babna, ABC, Oceans, Potions, Sugar and Tea. Should we? The mulling, folks. Mulling. Mulling. Look at nothing they're mulling. I thought everything doing nice with sports, man. High marks for the man that didn't invite us to the national flag raising ceremony. And then he went missing from the ceremony, missing from March. I thought he had everything under control. 4 years in, now mulling. But are they going to treat sports like with a business model? The mulling, folks, the mulling. Mulling that should we? You know, should we do a business model? You know, because the one they have so successful, they don't want to tweak the current design by any means. They don't want to tweak it. Should we? You know, everything ain't broken, don't fix it. 5 years in election year. With us, forgive us. Election year. And it's now the mulling. What else? What is it? Mulling, folks, the mulling in this election year. What else is there? You know? Mulling. 1, 2, 3 red light. Heaven faith, good to see you there. Yvette Moore, good to see you on the live as well. Yvette and Chin Sing and Waveney. Good to see all you folks. So that's one of the things we're looking at. Let me hasten on. Headlines. Just give me all a snapshot. Of course, we know biometrics is feasible. So a fantastic headline out of I think it's Village Voice. I think it's Lincoln Lewis writing here. It is feasible. Biometrics. But them boys don't want that. See? They want, for instance, Asher Kissoon in the National Assembly. If they didn't want her there, she'd have been long gone. It serves a purpose. The squatter being there, and those folks said, there for rule of law. Dragged in 2025, he was for biometrics. Just like the Guyana Trades Union Congress and its General Secretary Lincoln Lewis are strongly advocating for the implementing of biometrics for the 2025 election. Same way. If we are really and truly interested in a clean voters list, credible elections, valid elections that we all can be proud of. This is a no-brainer. Like the traffic lights on the Heroes Highway. It's a no-brainer. And then penultimately, I see the ministry pushing a family anti-violence program for families. For some people, folks, it might be a day late and $1 short. A day late and $1 short. You know, I put an asterisk over this because countless times the staff of the Ministry of Human Services and Social Protection, they said, Minister Vindhya Prasad, she's a programs lady. She wake up splitting programs. Implement by 8 o'clock, it crash by 9. She's a programs lady. That's what it says, she program. They say Vindhya program. Wake up 7 o'clock. Implement by 8, it crash by 9. Daily occurrences. This one is called Police Advanced Training and Readiness for Operational Leverage. I hope it works. I hope it works. It is geared towards improving law enforcement response to family violence in Guyana. Then by saying it, the man-woman story. We don't have a patrol car, no pun intended. No pun intended. We got patrol. And what a time to launch it. What a time to launch it. So over the weekend, we saw a businessman shot his reputed wife 12 times. Well, you know that's not a mistake. 12 times. And so, city businessman Marlon De Silva, he is said to be charged with the murder of his partner, Kenisha Vaughn. This is according to legal advice given to investigators. Right. Kenisha Vaughn was shot at the couple's Diamond House in Scheme home Saturday night after an argument escalated. According to police reports, De Silva, who had been drinking earlier, slapped Vaughn during a dispute, after which she reportedly grabbed a knife. And in response, he allegedly pulled his licensed firearm and fired multiple times, striking her several times. Yeah. According to reports. Right? You know, when you get married, they say, teeth and tongue must bite. Well, not at this level. Teeth and tongue must bite, but not to this level, folks. Not to this level at all. And so today, I saw Simona Broom's sister not only took to social media, but was boots on the ground with the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity party and movement, which she's a part of. They've been outside there in front of the very social protection ministry, in front of the very ministry, saying, we got to do more. I don't know what y'all doing. You know, International Women's Day coming up, and you can hear a lot of things. In theory, they sound good, but in practice, different story. So they talked to the Ministry of Human Services and Social Protection, demanding that more be done. Demanding that more be done. So I spoke to her today after this, because as I said, while they were on the protest, I was in another part of town. Another assignment. I was on another assignment. But I reached out to her afterwards and we sat down for a few and spoke, folks, on this issue.
Today, we all were out there, the LP, because it's in our objectives, and one of the things we talk about is our children being protected, to play in green spaces and be safe. What we find as a movement is that rape with our children, we call it, it's just like murder, because when you rape these babies, I mean, they have to live with it. And the murder against women, now you talk about, you call it domestic violence. I don't know how a man take a cutlass and chop a woman to death. It's domestic violence. A man took a gun and gave a woman 12 shots. How do we say that is domestic violence? A 3-year-old who was raped by a stepfather, the allegation, and be penetrated, the medical shows, more than one time. How is that some kind of violence? These things, we got to look at it and call it for what it is. because I think it's been compromised, and compromised at the level of the people who's supposed to be protecting, and we talking about prevention. So we are there because we want to talk prevention, because we getting comfortable with stats. Minister talk about how many persons last year and how many for this year. And now the Minister of Indigenous People Affairs said, listen, this was not brought to my attention at all. This isn't existing. Because for me, like, it becomes a story, you know. Somebody call you or inbox you on Facebook, oh, Minister, I want to tell you a story, Miss Brooms, about a child being raped. You don't want to tell a story. This is not a story. This is a storybook we're talking about. But it's to show how it is being compromised. And it is being compromised, I say it's deliberate, because this is taking place at every level. The murder and the crime against women and girls is not, you know, people can say poverty is the reason. No. We got a whole class system, but we have a lot of women and a lot of kids suffering from wealthy families, from powerful families, from political persons who got favors and all of that. So outside of putting out a press statement at the time, we want to call, and I've called upon the members, that things like this, we will stand to our feet. To take a firm position, we talk about the reform of the law. We talk about the implementation of the policies that they have there. We talk about the support system, because oftentimes in Parliament, large sums are being budgeted for. Or we have systems. We could pay rent for women to come out of situation. We can help them to buy a bed or to buy a stove. And billions of dollars is going down. We have the example that we've sent persons running out from these situations, and I have to go to Facebook, and we mobilize to even support them. A young lady waiting on a bed from since last month. Get all the paperwork and you take it in. So there's no support system, there's no mechanism in place. Our laws need to be reformed because it is something that is being allowed. We look at children for the longest while, and people say, oh, a child missing or a child run away. What happens? When that child come back, a lot of children, you know, a woman came to me and she said that the child went away and then come and she ran again. She never do anything because she fed up, because social protection not doing anything. So if that's what she want, then she have it. Where is she? She's 13 years old and she's living with a gentleman. Now, we talk about the protection even of the image, and I just want to touch on a few things that the minister is trying to shade or to sidetrack with these issues. We believe in the protection of the victim. But when a child is missing and the family putting them out there on social media, the system can't find them. The last one that I deal with, the mother said that it's 3 weeks and 5 days. It is after we get out there and start to post it up. It was out there on social media. But what is happening, the system is failing so miserably that even the parents, not only that they have to come forward, that you know who's the child, but then the child is already out there. So to come out and even to talk about victim and to protect the victim, in which we agree to, that's not the answer. You are not preventing these crimes from happening to them. And even when it happened, nothing's happened. Nothing's happening. You go to the police, and the police says we have to get social protection. So we have a matter that came to us, this child from Region 5, where a woman, a concerned citizen again, saw a child out there, one with a laceration to the head, a boy, and then his sister all ragged. And she said that the father lashed the brother, and she's being abused by the father. When they get into the detail, from as far as she remember, was 5 years old, she told me, the father is sleeping with her and have her like a wife. I said, when this happened? She said before she go to school, when she come from school, during lunch, and he wants her to speak to him and tell him how good the father is being and how he making her feel and all sorts of things. This woman took her to the police, nothing happened. After the woman reached out to me and we publicized it, then the police said to the woman, why you had to go there? And they managed to arrest his father. What happens? They arrest him, he was charged. They said we can't hold him longer than 72 hours. So they lose him. And they took the kids from the woman and take them and give them to a grandmother, some uncle they allege, who know. The children said to me they don't know. And the matter is finished with. The magistrate said we have to discontinue with this matter because we don't know where the father is. Now for me, all these things is being allowed. This is happening, this is worse than the COVID pandemic. And so we've tried the system ourselves. So I'm making reference to cases, and we can come to several cases that I can. So when I'm sitting here as the leader of the LP and said, listen, it is not working.
Yeah.
It is not working.
You know, it bothers me a little bit as you talk about that people don't feel safe enough, or maybe the minister isn't accessible enough for them to have her phone, or somebody from the ministry or the child protection agency, or people just know the system does not work, does not respond, so they don't even bother to contact, and they contact folks like you because they know they can get action. And you, and one of the things you are known for is rescuing women and girls from these abusive situations.
Definitely. And Sherrod, in this case, a lot of persons are reaching out to social protection that I know about and the ministry, and nothing is being done. Because what we do and what I start doing a long time is sending them, did you report it? Go and report it. And so when I'm sure that they've reported the matter, I myself ensure, call, follow up, send messages, send videos to the minister, the director, social service protection, and all of that. So we just not wake up one morning and say we're going out there.
Yeah.
When we were there today to make a statement and to say, to put all in notice, be it the police, social services, you are failing. And we are not going to wait on you, because we're not asking or begging the people of this nation. This is your role and responsibility. Yeah. And so we're going to deal with this now. So we're going to come out there, we're going to make our voices heard, and we will stay there until, because something needs to be done. So it's not about just sitting down and write some press statement and you put it in the major, like if you want to just carry a headline. These are the lives of people, and we are not playing politics. It is a P word, but we are not playing politics with people. We are fighting for people, because people are dying. Our girls, when they're being raped and abused like that, listen, it's worse than murder. If somebody just killed them, they just die. But that pain that they live with,
Yeah.
you know, it never goes away.
Correct.
And to me, like, everybody feel comfortable about that. So because we are fighting for people, we will go beyond the press statement. Because we have to agitate. We are going to push there. We got to push back on it. So the minister will know that, listen, we wouldn't take it. Pay attention. The policies, we have to tell you from the ground how it is working. You can't sit there and know.
Yeah.
You're implementing it.
And Simone, as a matter of fact, the last time we spoke on such an issue, we were talking about the Damlal issue. If you remember clearly, it's when you started to really throw your weight on this issue, we saw the movement that we got. But they were in denial the very same way. And we saw when that young lady was exposed to the system, what ultimately happened with this. And all of that tells people, you can't trust the system. This system will protect itself first, more than it protects the victim.
Exactly, because they're protecting themselves, and their politics. They want to control.
Yeah.
And so to do that, who suffer, who don't suffer.
Protect the president, protect the minister.
Yeah, definitely.
Priya didn't see the report or the move from her desk with the children in Madia and all that, and this go around, come around. They'll fast to protect the system and protect their party and political interests than the victim.
And so that is why we were out there, because this must change. This whole status quo must change. I think people are getting a little too comfortable now in this country. You know, we can do whatever we like for as long as we like, and it is okay. Well, no, we are the APLT saying, hey, no more, you're going to back up yourself.
Gotta be different.
You got to get it done different, because we got to fight for people. I am saying to us, our most important asset of this nation is under attack, which is the people. Not only by Venezuelans, but by leaders, by people who you trust to govern, by people who hold in these state positions. They are under attack. Our young people, they are under attack. They are the most important. Sherrod, you and I, we are growing up. We are depending on these younger ones to come and take over. Guyana is depending on them. I am depending them. And if that don't give us enough reason to fight to protect them, then something is wrong with us too. It cannot be business as usual. We are not out here as a movement. I am not out here. You've alluded to the fact of me being out there. You know, with the Damlal situation, while it was the allegation, I said, no, we'll be here. We moved from the DPP to the U.S. Embassy to Secretary of State landing in the country. I mean, it took a lot and a lot of resources, but you know what? Once we come together, we can do it. It's time the people power step forward. When the people power step forward, it's like a light in darkness. That's when the powers that tell themselves that they're so powerful, that's when they will start to drift down. We cannot allow these things to happen and say, well, listen, oh, we go to Facebook, it's somebody friend and somebody, you see what they're doing, like if everybody complaining. No, that's not what we're doing. And in fact, I'm calling on the government, because we are the ELP. We're ready at any time to sit down and to discuss the gaps and to say, listen, maybe you don't know, but let us tell you. Because from where we sit, it is different. Yeah. The eyes that we have, it is different. And yours is different. But you know what? Because of the people of this nation, when we identify these problems, when we bring it before you, it's not to play politics, it's to get solution. It's not to be a Pauline Sukai. You know? It's not to be a Pauline Sukai.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the smiling Sukai
with the lives of these
children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And incidentally, I know you alluded to this earlier on, when the minister said she didn't know, it wasn't brought to her attention, just before that, you know, you had a whole organization of indigenous people who would come forward to say that this kind of activity is rampant in hinterland, but yet she doesn't know. And again, I say it is an indictment on them that people perhaps don't trust them enough to know that these matters are going to be dealt with in a very in a very condign and a very active way, and that's why people don't even bother to reach out to them, because they're so out of touch.
But you know, even with that, Cheryl, the minister should have been fired. The minister is saying to her president and leaders, the people coming forward and say, listen, this is happening in our society. And the minister can turn a blind eye and say that, listen, it didn't come to me. It tells something. It tells that you're there and you're making no sense. Because if it come to you, or maybe it come to you, you can't even hear or see it. So you're in your own world. You're not there to serve and to protect. You're not there looking after the interests of these indigenous people. Because what are you saying? You don't know? I mean, there's a type of governance that we're talking about. There's a type of leadership that we're looking for. So even the indigenous people, they're being neglected. And when I make the statement that our the most important aspect of this country and assets, which is the people, is under attack, it's the same way. It cuts straight across. The crime and violence against women and girls, didn't come at race or religion. It cuts across. It didn't come between the rich or the poor or powerful. Everybody, women in parliament, lawyers, doctors, teachers, soldiers, police.
Yeah, any cuts across it.
Cuts across it when it comes to crime against women and girls, right? And I mean, when I look at even where our women at, a man died because of some KFC chicken and people take that to be funny. Putting our women in poverty to the extent that morals and everything go through the door. That anything can happen to you, that anything that you just accept. I always, on my morning program and all the time, I encourage women to be better women, to be better mother, to be better wives. We talk about morals, we talk about family planning, we talk about all of that. But that don't give anybody the right to destroy our women and girls.
Life has become too cheap.
Life has become too cheap. What is the value for life?
I know we're going to talk some more about other issues, and we got some time in front of us. But before I let you go today, how has the ALP been doing? I know you hit the ground running, and this is just one of the issues you've been tackling. I've been seeing you guys out there. I saw you out there for MASH. I saw you out there prior in the communities. You're talking to people, you're engaging them on the issues. How has it been?
Yes, I mean, one of the things to me is because it comes just naturally, I must say it. The target from a person to a family to a community, and by extension to a country, it comes very natural because this is what I want to see. This is my purpose at this time, you know. And from the launching, we're out there, we're in different communities, and not only identifying problems, but with solutions. Share what some of the solutions are, like you can have them on the spot. It continues to expose poverty in a bigger way, but even when we see it, we look to see, you know, at least for some short and medium term, because outside of government, and we push back on the system too, we do send people there. We're fighting for persons with the public assistant. That is a crazy situation out there. So many women, and they're coming forward and talk about it. A woman was in the hospital. We met her in Beirut, and her husband dropped the meals for her and Pampers for the newborn. And on his way back home to look at the other 3 kids, he died. He got in an accident. And she went to social services. And she said, I said, listen, we can give you for 2. And she said, but I can't do anything. I'm alone with them. And they said, you want to find a work. And she's not the only person. So we continue to call the system. We call into social services to deal with that. A lot of elderly persons complain about pensions, jobs, young people. The hopelessness is just crazy. So we're out there and we've been doing a lot.
Excellent.
As it relates to that, it's not just about sitting down. Our membership is growing. We continue to look for the numbers. There's a Sherrod, just yesterday I heard a woman, and she's older than I am, and she said she never voted. She came all the way from Bartica to walk and mash with her. She said she'd never voted, but now she's going to vote. And this woman got so much inside of her. Listen, this was a politician there sitting down, and she gave her a reason why she's going to vote. So I think we underestimate also, and we look at it only from the negative. But for the first-time voters and the young people, a lot of young people now too are saying, listen, we're not going to vote. And I know that, the older folks will say, oh, instead of when election time come, they're going to vote for somebody. That's not true. This time is not long time, because before in the communities, one of the things the older person would say, listen, could you encourage the young people to vote? But now they of themselves are saying, hey, I'm not moved, I'm not encouraged. And so that also, to see that we are not here just being here. We are no small party. We are no zero party. We are a movement, and a movement to reckon with. Excellent. All right?
Keep pushing.
And so we are just pushing, because we know the target, we know the job, we know the state of our country, we know what is necessary, our objectives, and what we know that we are right for Guyana. We are right for Guyana, we are right for Guyanese people at this time in the Guyana political space. I tell people the good change that you want to see, it starts with you. And it starts with me. And so we come together and we're fighting to bring that about. So everybody with that intention and looking for that good change, once we mobilize, Jared, we can only see it not in the far future, but in the near future. So we've been doing a lot out there, keeping in touch, more persons contacting. We were out there to walk for MASH. And persons was waiting out there on us to be a part and to sign up and to know how to get involved and all of that. So what is that saying to me? It's a breath of fresh air in the whole political space, because, a lot of people, fetching that burden that we're not going to vote, we're not going to do this. But for that, if even that perception and that coming off of their minds, to capture those votes, and people coming out and encourage, this is a force to reckon with, a movement to reckon with, just pushing back on those dark clouds. So I'm looking forward for better days. We know the challenges, but we know it's purposeful, and we're resilient enough. We're resilient enough.
Excellent. So I want to thank you for this time. You look good in blue.
Thank you. You know the world saying that.
We're going to be talking some more.
Yes.
We're going to be talking. This is the season, and these are the early days.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so let's leave it there tonight, folks. Let's leave it there. I know I vexed some of y'all tonight. I know I vexed some of y'all tonight. I should apologize in advance. We're good to see all of you on the live tonight, wherever you're joining us from. That's our problem. This is the season we're in. We're going to try to bring you as many viewers as possible, except them boys. Not interested. They got a lot of other channels that they can talk to and spew the nonsense. But good to have all of you on the live this evening, folks. That's our time tonight. That's our program. You've been a wonderful audience. You've been a wonderful audience, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We love back to y'all. Good night, Elizabeth Saint and Edward Brooms and Marcia and Desmond Harris. I see Grace is here with us tonight. Good to have you. Wilma Grant is on the live too. Tammy Gibbs, good to see you. Yvette Moore, good to have you too. Gloria Pod is here. Gloria. Good to see you on the live tonight. Please and thank you. Grateful to have all of you here. If you can, folks, subscribe to our broadcast. Send us a raise and keep the program going. Everett and Wilton Blue. Yvette, good to have you. Denise, Charles, Ibn, and all the other folks joining us tonight. who have joined us. You'll have a great evening. We're going to see you guys back here on the next one. That's our time, folks, and that's our program. Stay safe. That's our time. That's our program. Good to have had all of you this evening. Stay safe.